Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. My name is Leon Jones, and during this segment, I generally don't do this, but I want to give a big shout out to Brother Ringo TV Raw. I was watching one of his videos, and he had Kendra G on one of his videos. And I got to hear the video. Now, I lived in the Chicago area and I'm very familiar with Kendra G. In fact, she worked on a morning show on WGCI 107.5 with a guy named Leon, and there was a second guy. Now, Kendra G made a comment that rubbed most of us hardworking YouTubers the wrong way. And she said she is the big fish. Now, let me tell her something right from the riff here. You are no more bigger than anybody else. Okay, you came from Instagram, you had a lot of followers. Then you came over to YouTube. And the problem I have with Miss Kendra G is she's one-sided. So I'm gonna call this video One-Way Street. Now, when it comes to making content, there are a number of individuals who are doing reaction videos. And it's nothing wrong with doing reaction videos. In fact, reaction videos, that is a good niche. Now, what Kendra G doesn't understand, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen. She doesn't understand what this means. Fair use. Okay. Under 17 USC 107, SEC 107 limitations on exclusive fair use. Warning, federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright dealer. This is called fair use, and it's allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. Now, according to Miss G, she is threatening male black male content creators of getting their platform shut down if individuals use her content. Now, she's not saying anything about female content creators. Now, somebody else, and I watched his videos, he did that. RIPKS. He did that. And shout out to Ringo for bringing this out. But as a YouTuber who's been on YouTube for 6 years, making content, even before these live streams from StreamYards and Streamlabs and all these panels came out, I did pre-recorded content. Now, yes, am I a small channel? I am a small channel, and I'm not monetizing. I don't care to be monetized. But when Kendra G said we're using her content to make money, well, hell yeah. A lot of people are using content to make money. But see, when I look at Kendra G, I'm not looking at her. What I'm doing is critiquing the delusional women that she has on her show. Ones that Kendra G rarely calls out. She gives them a pass. Now, again, I'm not knocking what she does. However, as a content creator. And she said that we who make content here on YouTube, we don't have any creativity. Well, we do have creativity. In fact, I'm not even using the Kendra G video. I'm just freestyling what I've been seeing on these YouTube streets. And again, when it comes to YouTube, everything that the brothers are doing when it comes to reaction videos is within the guidelines. I'll put it up there for you again so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's called fair use. Now, again, federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use, and it is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. Now, there was another individual on there. She was a brown skinned lady, and she came up to Kendra G's panel, and she was talking about how there are a number of anti Kendra G content creators or anti social media content creators that are taking her content and using it for money. Look, this is a capitalistic society. And over time, individuals have taken a product that somebody else made and rebranded it as their own. You can do that. Of course, when it comes to YouTube, if you're going to use somebody else's video, and I know this as well, being a YouTuber, you play the video, you stop the video, you talk about what you see in the video, what you agree with, what you don't agree with. You talk about how the video is affecting you. Then you play it. If you play the video in its entirety, that's basically taking someone else's content. Now, again, shout out to Ringo TV Raw. He knows more about the YouTube guidelines than I do, but as a YouTuber myself, I read a lot of the guidelines. Now, the guidelines are constantly changing. But when she said that she's the big fish and we're the little fish, well, Sister Kendra G hasn't even been on YouTube long enough to even make that statement. There are guys out here now like Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, Marcus Bromley, and there are quite a few other brothers out here who have larger channels than she has. And you have a number of individuals who are doing reaction videos. Now, a number of us, like myself, I'm not up here full time. I have a 9 to 5. And plus, I'm working on my side business, quality control inspection services. And number 2, I have a second channel, QCIS. I'm working on that channel. Well, when you get a big head and you want to stop people from making money, that's a problem. And what's going to happen is, and for all you brothers who are doing reaction videos, put your foot in it harder. You see, if a man had said what Kendra G had said, like shout out to Tommy Sotomayor, and there are other individuals who weren't liked by the female population here on YouTube, they would have gotten canceled. Now, the problem I have with YouTube, YouTube has a way of dealing with issues one way. Now, there's somebody else, shout out to Brother Nate, calls her baby number 5. She can say anything she wants and nothing happens. And people have used her videos. Now, of course, Brother Nate had a stream on one time and he did play one of her videos and they shut the stream down. Brother Nate, where he had the problem was he didn't put the fair use logo up there. He played the video, he didn't stop playing the video, and that's why they struck it down. His stream. I had the same thing when I was doing I Love a Mama's Boy. It was a 10-minute video. The mistake I made is, although I said fair use, I let the video play. It was a 10-minute video for 10 minutes while I was on the stream. And because I let it play, I didn't stop the video and talk about the video. My live stream was struck down. Now, when it comes to making money, you have a number of people who are using this platform to make money, and shout out to them. But if people like Kendra G can get up here and make money, everybody else has the right to make money. If people want to use my content, no matter how large or small my channel is, they're welcome to use it. Make sure if they play the video, they stop the video, either refute what I'm saying, criticize what I'm saying, however you want to do it. But when it comes to YouTube streets, you have an individual who comes from the area of journalism, but doesn't have a thick enough skin to handle what's going on YouTube. And Miss G, and I'm respecting her, must understand that this isn't WGCI radio in Chicago. And I guarantee you have rules on that radio station where you can't curse on that radio station, because that's basically the laws are set up by the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. But when you're talking about people using your content, making reaction videos, I see no problem. Reaction videos are very difficult to do. I've tried making reaction videos from some of the TLC type shows. Very difficult to do, especially when you only have a laptop. But when it comes to making money, this is what I don't like about Black folks. Most of us Black folks do not have any understanding of what economics is. What most of us want to be as Black people, we always want to be the first. And then when we get up there, we don't want to help anybody else up. We have a crabs in a barrel mindset. And with that crabs in a barrel mindset, we tend to be very, very jealous. This is why you don't deal with your own sometimes. This is why we don't have businesses in the African American community. They would never survive. Why? Because for the most part, and I'm going to say this, and this is going to sting, Black people, a number of them, I don't care how conscious you think you are, many of us do not like each other. Many of us do not trust each other. Many of us want to be on an island ourselves. Many of us as Black people do not know how to communicate in the real world. Therefore, many of us as Black people will never have the ownership mindset. A number of Black people have the employee mindset, the consumerism mindset. And when it comes to YouTube, as long as you follow the guidelines within fair use, you do not have anything to worry about. A content creator can tell you they're going to cancel your videos all they want. But If you follow the guidelines, just like I mentioned, your videos will stay up. And I want individuals to start doing more reaction videos on Kendra G because, for the most part, she's not even calling out these delusional females. I mean, you have a number of them up there, and I'm 57, who are 30 and older, have kids. She'll call the men out on her show, but she won't call the women out. And from my humble opinion, looking at everything she does, and I'm going to repeat this from Brother Ringo, because I've seen her videos as well. She is looking to be the next KS. But right now, Miss Kendra G must understand this. Without the viewership, you're not going to have a channel anyway. Your audience helps your channel. This is why a number of us in the YouTube streets like engagement. Like, here are my content. I want everybody to get the likes up as well. This is a pre-recorded video, but get the likes up. I want you to view this video because Sister Kendra G, which I've listened to her on WGCI in the Chicago area because I lived in the Chicago area about an hour in Portage, Indiana. Heard her every day. She had the morning show. Okay, she says she's educated, went to Hampton University, know all about her. She's a journalist. Now, me, I'm going to be a little nicer than some of these other brothers. Not going to criticize what she does, but I am going to criticize that she called all of us, males and females, who are making content, little fish. And to me, she has gotten a big ego. And that big ego right there is going to get her channel canceled. I know if people like Tommy Sotomayor said that, and look what happened to Tommy Sotomayor every time he put up a channel. Ringo, he had channels canceled. Sergeant Willie P. And these are the guys who actually, in my humble opinion, invented YouTube with their content. And they had a number of African-American women when those guys were back there, and I'm talking about 2006, 2010, 2012, they were going in on a number of African-American women. And a number of African-American women weren't strong enough to handle his content or their content. Because their content, they were telling the truth. Now, this is not a video tearing down African-American women by any way. I'm simply telling people like Miss Kendra G out there that you keep up with the attitude, the egotism, you're going to butter your own bread. And see, I'm not even using your video, so you can say what you want about me. When it comes to creativity, I do my own videos the way I want to do them. And I don't have the best of microphones. Well, I do. I haven't set them up yet. But I do know what I'm talking about because I am a YouTuber. And when she said she doesn't deal with the big fish or she doesn't have time to watch anybody else's content, I bet you she is watching other people's content. She just doesn't want to say that. And that other lady, I forgot her name, who was complaining about what brothers are doing with Kendra G's information, she's got an issue herself because she's one of those delusional sisters out there that the brothers are talking about. Again, when I watch her show, I'm not watching for Kendra G. I'm watching for the delusion of some of these sisters out there because they are delusional. You're coming on her show, you got 3 kids by 3 different men, you're 55, you're 57 years old, you're looking for a man, but in the end, you're never going to get a man because a man is not going to value anybody who is grown, has grown kids, particularly some of you have grown kids living at home. I've done videos on this. But you also have individuals out there who talk about their entrepreneurs, but she never asked them, well, if you're an entrepreneur, what do you do? What kind of money you're making? But when it comes to the men, she has no problem telling the men about themselves. Now, again, there's hypocrisy out here. She allows the women all day to use her content for reaction videos, but despises the men. When KS was around, there were a lot of people using KS's videos. Now, again, criticism is part of social media. And if you don't have the thick skin to deal with what's going on these YouTube streets, you should not be here on YouTube because it can get rough and ready here. YouTube is not a place for individuals who don't have a thick skin. It's also not a place for individuals who are just coming up here rambling on. Now, that just depends on what type of content you're doing. Now, if you're in the entertainment sector, if you're in the gossip sector, you can ramble on all you want. But I know in my sector, and I know with Little Big Nate, I know with Trey and Free Zone Lou and Hood Server, oh, you have to know something. Angry Snowman, you have to know something. But again, going back to when I heard her say that we don't have any creativity, is she out of her mind? Before we had StreamYards and Google Hangouts, most of us who were on YouTube were doing pre-recorded content. And let me tell you something, doing pre-recorded content without any notes is very difficult. I can do it, and I'm very good at it. I rarely ever stutter. And I can do pre-recorded content without cursing because everything is up here. I've already read about it. But when it comes to YouTube, a number of us are creative. I mean, again, shout out to Ringo. I don't see Kendra G producing any music like Ringo, and I don't see Kendra G designing bridges like me, going out there inspecting infrastructure that has been placed or that has been torn down, or doing statics or mechanics of materials or differential equations like me. That takes some brains to do that. She went to Hampton University and got an easy degree in journalism, and she's riding high on a horse. But remember, she's also working for somebody at WGCI. They're probably owned by one of the big conglomerates out here. And the radio station basically gets paid on the sponsorship. And I worked at a radio station, and when you played people's albums back in the day, the radio station had to give the artist, I believe, some of the expenses, because you have royalties involved. I don't know how much or what percentage of the royalties are. Anybody who's using music on a commercial, they have to pay some type of royalties. But on YouTube, again, we talk about fair use. This is under 17 USC 107, Section 107, limitations on exclusive rights fair use. Warning, federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without any authorization of the copyright holder. So that means you can use, for educational purposes, I'm going to say this because that's for teaching. You can use portions of copyrighted material. Again, this is called fair use. And this is allowed to be used for the purposes of teaching, parody, news reporting. And it doesn't infringe under Code 17 USC 107. And I think we need more brothers out there. If you're doing content, you might want to watch people like Kendra G. Now, again, when it comes to black people, and I'm going to say this, Kendra G is an example of why we'll never make money in the black community. Because she wants to keep it all for herself. But in a corporation, if your people don't do the work for you, nobody makes any money. But if you don't have the clients in the business or the customers, you have no business. So again, Miss G can threaten all of us black male content creators with all of her rhetoric about getting us canceled. But I guarantee you, if she loses her audience, she has no channel. Your audience and the engagement by the audience, which equals viewership, that is what you need. Your audience is your customers. And for your brothers out there who are making money off of her content, continue to make money off of her content. This is YouTube. If you are within the guidelines of YouTube, then continue to make that money. I see people's content being used all the time. Again, KS's content was used quite a bit, and he got upset. But as per Ringo, he wrote one too many letters and then got a letter back from YouTube. And YouTube told him, write one more letter. We're going to deep six your platform. And he had over 1 million subscribers. Again, Kendra G is new to these YouTube streets. This is an Instagram. And there are going to be people out there, and I'm going to tell you, like Brother Ringo. I'm sure Brother Ringo, who's been here for a long time, he's going to download all of her material if he hasn't already done it. And he'll probably go over to her Instagram too. And I know he's going to dig in with both feet in the reaction videos, and he should. And there are going to be a number of other brothers. I believe there's one brother out there. I just watched one of his videos, Blacklight Podcast. He has 28.7 subscribers. And he's used some of her content. And he's going to continue to use some of her content. Because if the sisters are using her content, why can't the brothers use her content? You see, she doesn't want the brothers to make money. She wants the sisters to make money. But she must understand that YouTube is not her platform. Just like she doesn't own WGCI or Instagram. She works for WGCI, but she's using Instagram as a platform to deliver her content. And she's also utilizing YouTube. Now, again, there are a number of us who were on YouTube, like myself, before any type of panels were created. Because again, we had to create pre-recorded content. And pre-recorded content is very difficult, especially if you didn't read anything about the subject matter. Now, I was going to play one of her videos, and I decided not to play one of her videos. Why? Because I've already seen a number of her videos, so I can talk about how she runs her platform. Now, again, I'm not knocking her for making money, but she's trying to knock brothers from making their money. But she's not saying anything to the sisters out there who are using her content as well to make money. And what she has to understand in these YouTube streets is there is competition. So that's one thing black folk don't understand. They don't know competition. They hate competition. Competition makes you work harder, makes you be the best. But she thinks she can come up here because she has a show and bully everybody from using her content. That's not going to happen, Captain, not here. Because these YouTube streets, they feature a lot of content creators. And she must understand that you're going to have black men using her content who don't even live in this country. She forgot about that. So you're going to cancel those guys too? Like King Riches, who lives over there in England? Abu American, who lives over there in Germany? See, that's that selfishness. She doesn't want people to make money unless they look like her and female. Like I said, all I watch her show for is to see the delusional females who come up there looking for a man and they're not even in a position to have a man. Who would want them? A number of them, I don't care how much money they make, they're used up. And they have this long list of requirements. And again, this is not a video beating down the American black woman, but a number of American black women have this delusion where, okay, there's nothing wrong with them going to school, getting an education. However, if you're using that education to compete with a black man or you make a black man look inferior to you, then you shouldn't even be going to school, because the purpose of an education is to learn something so you can apply the skills in college to the real world, and it's a minimum requirement to get the job. There are people like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg who never went to school, but they got degree professionals working for them. They were the college dropouts, but yet they're the billionaires. Number of individuals who go to college, your everyday working folk, they're not billionaires. Some of them are thousandaires. And I'm talking about low-level thousandaires, under $100,000. But again, when it comes to creating content, you can take something that somebody has already done and put your own spin on it. And you can look at the content and you critique it. You break it down. You recognize something about that content that some people didn't see. I don't see everything. That's creativity. You're trying to take the meat off the bone. Now, in the end, Kendra G is not the big fish, but she's already shown me that she's delusional herself because she doesn't understand how videos are made here, of course. Maybe she needs to check out people's videos, see what they're talking about. Maybe she'll understand that you got to critique the females just like you critique the men. Now, you see, my channel is basically a man's channel. When I get on my panels, certainly I have some females on my panel, but it's a male space. And whatever people like Kendra G aren't critiquing, we're going to critique. Now, I don't consider myself the manosphere. I support some of what they say and some of what they, in other instances, I don't support it. I'm my own individual person. But in the long run, if you're going to have a channel and if you want it to grow, first of all, you're going to have to understand in these YouTube streets, you're going to have competition. You just have to outmarket your competition. And that's what a number of Black people don't understand. They don't have a business mind. They have an employee mind. That's why a number of us don't own anything. Because when you have a business mind, there are going to be decisions that are going to be made and they're unpopular. But in the long run, when it comes to YouTube, don't let anybody who hasn't been on this platform long enough, brothers, call you small fish. She may have that delusion that she's the big fish right now. Take away her viewership, her channel is gone, and she'll run right back to Instagram. Now, again, I don't know her. She has a platform. That's good. It's a one-sided platform. A lot of delusional females, particularly Black, go over there. But she's a journalist trying to deal with relationship advice, but yet she's not in a relationship herself. She doesn't have children, nor has she ever had a husband. And she's a Gen Xer, just like I am. So I don't see how any of you females and males could take relationship advice from her. Because all she's going to give you is her opinion. Now, I'm not saying she hasn't had experience with boyfriends, but when it comes to a marriage, when it comes to having children, or when it comes to economics, it's always been her. She doesn't understand anything about pair bonding. And that's why she's in a position. She's got the degree, the cash, and no man. But that's her preference. But she's no better than any one of us. In other words, she's not above reproach. She can have her channel struck down just like we can. So in the end, to sum it all up, when you deal with YouTube, you deal with competition. YouTube is a business. And if you produce content, it may be used by others. And when you see this label, fair use, understand that federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the holder, the copyright holder. That means the individual who owns the content. This is called fair use, and it is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. If you know the YouTube guidelines and you're a content creator, there's nothing she can do about canceling your content. Because if she does, she's only being a hypocrite because she wants to cancel all male content but allow the females to make money. And in the end, do you take somebody like that seriously? No. So, brothers, if you're using her content, go ahead and use it. Make sure, though, that you break the video down. If it's 10 minutes, break it down into segments. Don't let it run. Yes, she made the content, but she doesn't own the platform. You remember that. I make videos. I don't own the platform. Everybody is subject to criticism. And if you can't deal with criticism, YouTube's not the place for you. That's the problem I have with some of these females. They cannot take the criticism, but yet they want to dish out the criticism. But in the end, YouTube is a place where everybody's entitled to develop content. And people who develop reaction videos, political videos, they are creative. And they can create something that's already been created. I can go out here right now as a civil engineer and take an existing road and create a new road from an existing road. Everybody does it. Products are made, patented, and then improved. And that's the same way content is done here on YouTube. So again, when it comes to YouTube, make sure you follow the guidelines. And at the end of the day, YouTube is another place where you can capitalize on income. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please like, share, and of course, subscribe to the 411 Talk Zone radio show. And if you're looking for some hands-on type of material, check out the QCIS channel, formerly the Mind of STEM channel. And on that channel, I give you a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. Now, if you cannot find the 411 Talk Zone radio show or the QCIS channel on YouTube, you can check those two channels out on Twitter. Now, with the QCIS channel, I take it one step further since it is an educational channel. You can also find that channel on LinkedIn and at the end of the day, be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And for people who are offended or people who are not offended, I'm going to leave you this message. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. And once again, you can check out my live stream. I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow, August 10th, 2010 at 7 o'clock. I will put up the topic on my community page. So check it out. And again, I thank you for listening to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.